Welcome to College Briefing. The content of the briefing includes wonder drug or placebo, the confounding case of medicinal cannabis. Talia von Oelhoffen hits three-pointer at buzzer to lift number 11 Oregon State past number 9 UCLA 79-77. NSW government announces plan to build 100 preschools in 3 years. Texas ban on university diversity efforts provides a glimpse of the future across GOP-led states. Educators' wisdom will ripple through the generations. Wonder drug or placebo, the confounding case of medicinal cannabis. The Sydney Morning Herald. Australians' use of medicinal cannabis is booming, with an estimated 300,000 to 500,000 patients treated since it was legalized in 2016. However, many experts say the efficacy and safety of medicinal cannabis is not supported by research. There are almost no approved cannabis medicines, and doctors can apply to the Therapeutic Goods Administration to prescribe it for compassionate use, such as for a terminally ill patient. In 2021, the International Association for the Study of Pain said it did not endorse the general use of cannabinoids to treat pain due to a lack of evidence from high-quality research. However, the association stressed that it did not wish to dismiss the lived experiences of people with pain who had found benefit from their use. Talia von Oelhoffen hits three-pointer at buzzer to lift number 11 Oregon State past number 9 UCLA 79-77. Associated Press. Number 11 Oregon State defeated number 9 UCLA in women's college basketball on Friday night thanks to a buzzer-beating three-pointer from Talia von Oelhoffen. The Beavers rallied from a 7-point deficit in the final 3 minutes to secure the victory. Von Oelhoffen finished with 22 points, while Tamia Gardiner had a career-high 21 points. Lauren Betts scored a career-high 24 points for UCLA. The win marked Oregon State's 6th straight victory. NSW government announces plan to build 100 preschools in 3 years. ABC. The New South Wales government plans to build 100 preschools in the next 3 years, with nearly half of them located in regional and remote communities. The preschools will be co-located with public primary schools to make childcare and early learning more accessible for families. The $769 million investment aims to provide universal preschool access in the state. The plan was announced by Premier Chris Minns at the Labour Country Conference in Nowra, south of Sydney. The new preschools will be built in various regions across the state. Texas ban on university diversity efforts provides a glimpse of the future across GOP-led states. The Toronto Star. Changes stemming from a ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in Texas are impacting college campuses, including the University of Texas. The ban prohibits preferential treatment based on race, sex, or ethnicity, leading to the closure of cultural identity centers and the removal of references to diversity and inclusion on university websites. Professors are editing their syllabi and speech to comply, while student groups are struggling with funding limitations. The atmosphere of fear and uncertainty is affecting students and faculty, with concerns about censorship and self-monitoring. Efforts to maintain a sense of community and support for marginalized groups are ongoing, but the impact of the ban on admissions and graduation rates will be monitored by state officials. Educators' wisdom will ripple through the generations. The Sydney Morning Herald. Joan Montgomery, the former headmistress of Presbyterian Ladies College, PLC, Melbourne, has passed away at the age of 98. Montgomery was known for her leadership and influence in women's education and was highly respected among staff, students, and parents during her time at PLC. She faced controversy in 1985 when her contract was not renewed, causing a major upheaval at the school. However, Montgomery maintained her grace and dignity throughout the ordeal and eventually regained her revered place in the history of the school. Her biography, titled The Vetting of Wisdom, Joan Montgomery and the Fight for PLC, was published in 2021 and celebrated her life and contributions to women's education. Montgomery's leadership extended beyond her role at PLC, as she also served as president of the Association of Heads of Independent Girls' Schools of Australia and played an active role in various organizations and councils in retirement. She received numerous honors and accolades for her services to education, including being appointed an Officer of the Order of the British Empire and becoming a member of the Order of Australia. Montgomery's influence on generations of women will continue to be felt for years to come. Letty scores 23, leads San Diego State over New Mexico 81-70. Associated Press. San Diego State defeated New Mexico with a final score of 81-70. Jaden Letty led the Aztecs with 23 points, while Jalen House scored 22 points for the Lobos. The victory improves San Diego State's record to 20-6. A Black author takes a new look at Georgia's white founder and his failed attempt to ban slavery. Associated Press. Michael Thurmond, CEO of DeKalb County, Georgia, has written a book arguing that James Edward Oglethorpe, the founder of Georgia, was an abolitionist. Oglethorpe's efforts to keep slaves out of the colony failed, but Thurmond claims he left a lasting legacy by influencing early English abolitionists. Though the book has received praise from some historians, others are skeptical of the argument. Oglethorpe did try to prohibit slavery in Georgia, but historians have argued that he was concerned for the safety and self-sufficiency of white settlers rather than the suffering of enslaved Africans. In its early years, Georgia was the only British American colony where slavery was banned. The ban was ignored when Oglethorpe left in 1743, and by 1776, slavery had been legal in Georgia for 25 years. By the time of the Civil War, Georgia had the second highest population of enslaved people in the U.S., behind Virginia. Maddox scores 21, rallies Toledo to 85-83 victory over Ohio. Associated Press. Toledo rallied to defeat Ohio in an 85-83 victory on Friday night. Dante Maddox Jr. led the way for Toledo with 21 points, including a go-ahead three-pointer with 59 seconds left in the game. Raheem Moss added 16 points and 8 rebounds, while Javan Simmons recorded a double-double with 13 points and 16 rebounds. A.J. Clayton was the top scorer for Ohio with 22 points. Both teams had all 5 of their starters score in double figures. Trump avoids corporate death penalty, but his business will still get slammed. Associated Press. Former President Donald Trump has avoided dissolution of his corporate entities after a New York judge ruled in a civil case alleging fraud. New York Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron instead imposed a number of penalties including restrictions on Trump's borrowing, cash penalties and supervision of his companies. Engoron banned Trump from serving as an officer or director in any New York corporation for 3 years and said that his company and other defendants would have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in fines. Trump and his businesses must also pay $355 million for ill-gotten gains, while Trump's sons, Eric and Donald Trump Jr., were each ordered to pay $4 million and his former chief financial officer was ordered to pay $1 million. Trump is also required to pay interest from the dates when he received benefits from his alleged fraud, adding another $100 million to his bills. Trump has said that he will appeal against the decision. Deaths of 2 found in dorm at University of Colorado in Colorado Springs being treated as homicides. Yahoo! 2 people were found dead in a dorm room at the University of Colorado in Colorado Springs. The shooting is being investigated as a double homicide, and the campus was put on lockdown. The victims' identities have not yet been released, and there is no information about the suspects or a potential motive. The university has around 11,000 students enrolled and will remain closed throughout the weekend. Counselors from other campuses are helping students cope with the tragedy. 1 vote, or even a few of them, might not hurt NM incumbents. Yahoo! As Senator Greg Baca, R. watched the Democrat-controlled state Senate push forward bills the GOP opposed during the recently completed 30-day legislative session, he muttered a mantra or maybe a hope about the long-term outcome. Trump keeps New York empire intact as judge rescinds asset sale order. Bloomberg. Former U.S. President Donald Trump was ordered to pay $354 million for lying about his wealth in a civil fraud case that concluded in September. However, the judge made no ruling on the dissolution of Trump's companies in New York, and instead appointed 2 overseers to monitor the businesses. The decision means Trump can retain control of his New York empire for now, but the judge could still call for restructuring and potential dissolution based on substantial evidence. Is it even possible to do 28 A-levels and what's the cost? BBC. A 17-year-old student in the UK who already has 34 GCSEs and an IQ of 161 has announced she is studying for 28 A-levels. The student, Manur Chima, said that she is studying 4 A-levels at school and the rest at home with her mother. According to the article, students usually study for 3 A-levels over 2 years. However, schools only put students through a maximum of 4 A-levels, as universities will not ask for more than that as an entry requirement. Iriafen, Brink Power No. 3 Stanford passed rival California 84-49. The Toronto Star. No. 3 Stanford defeated local rival California 84-49 in a dominant performance. Kiki Iriafen led the Cardinal with 23 points and 11 rebounds, while Cameron Brink contributed 14 points and 4 blocks. Stanford's smothering defense and physical style disrupted California's offense, holding them to their lowest point total of the season. The victory marked Stanford's 11th straight win in the Bay Area series against California. Biden's rightward shift on immigration angers advocates, but it's resonating with many Democrats. The Toronto Star. Democrats are shifting their immigration stance to include tougher border security measures, in contrast to their previous more welcoming policies. This shift is seen as an attempt to secure more support, particularly from swing voters, and distance themselves from Trump's approach. Biden's recent negotiation of a border proposal with Senate leaders has caused some controversy within the Democratic Party, with critics arguing that he is adopting Trump's terms of the debate. While some immigrant advocates are frustrated with this shift, many Democrats in critical swing states like Nevada are standing behind Biden. The debate over immigration reform continues, with the need for border security and legal pathways for immigrants being key points of contention. Well, folks, we've covered quite the range of news stories today. From the confounding case of medicinal cannabis to the thrilling buzzer beater in women's college basketball, there's been no shortage of interesting stories to discuss. Let's start with medicinal cannabis. It seems that while its use is booming in Australia, experts are divided on its efficacy and safety. The lack of high-quality research and approved cannabis medicines has led to skepticism among some in the medical community. However, it's important to note that the International Association for the Study of Pain acknowledges the positive experiences reported by some patients. So, for now, the debate continues. In sports news, we saw some exciting basketball action. Talia von Oelhoffen's buzzer-beating three-pointer lifted Oregon State to victory over UCLA, while Jaden Leddy led San Diego State to a win over New Mexico. And let's not forget about the dominant performance by Stanford's women's basketball team against California. It's always a thrill to see these athletes in action. Shifting gears, the New South Wales government's plan to build 100 preschools in the next 3 years is a positive step toward providing universal preschool access. It's great to see a focus on making early learning more accessible, particularly in regional and remote communities. Education is a vital foundation for children, and initiatives like these can make a real difference in their lives. On a more serious note, the ban on diversity initiatives in Texas is having a significant impact on college campuses. The closure of cultural identity centers and the removal of diversity references is creating an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. It's crucial to maintain a sense of community and support for marginalized groups, even in the face of these restrictions. We'll be keeping a close eye on how this ban affects admissions and graduation rates in the coming years. Lastly, we bid farewell to Joan Montgomery, the former headmistress of PLC Melbourne. Her contributions to women's education were remarkable, and her influence will continue to be felt for generations to come. It's always inspiring to see individuals who leave a lasting impact on the lives of others. Now, my friends, it's over to you. What are your thoughts on these news stories? Do you have any questions or insights to share? The floor is yours. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.